It started off as a feeling of being at peace, of being comfortable in the solitude of nature, of being released of stress and worry, and experiencing the world of how it's supposed to be within the outdoors. It's literally what I live for as a photographer and a cinematographer, and it's what I try to convey to my audience whenever I press record or the shutter. So my family and I would always do about 1 to 2 week trips every year. Sometimes small ones, and then we always have like a main to some location. Pretty much within 20 years, I've done almost all of the East Coast. We've done that much traveling. Our first big outdoors trip was North Carolina. It was 3 years ago. But that was like our first big, like, we're just gonna do outdoors things. We're just gonna hike our butts off and just go ham. So I've always been a big fan of like the view, getting to that viewpoint, that vantage point, seeing the overall, the prettiest thing you could see within that area or whatever. What makes life feel more real and gives life a reason to be in life. It's the feeling of just getting away, but yet you feel where you belong. It's the way life should feel. My dad always had a big love for traveling. He used to travel overseas for Ford at the time, and now he's not able to do it anymore. So now he's just doing everything locally. It wasn't originally a mission, and it kind of became a mission to try to get all 50 states done by the time I'm 30. And it helped out because most of my family traveling, we did 20-some states within just the last 20 years, so almost a state a year, going off that math. And I kind of made it my own goal to continue off with it, even though my family might not be doing it anymore. And I took a senior trip by myself and my boyfriend up to the UP for a 9-day road trip, and that is the first travel video that I made. 9 straight days of pretty much filming, and that was, I guess, the best way to narrow in on the video aspect. Like, oh, okay, I like doing this along with the photography, so why not do kind of both at the same time during trips? But those were 2 big creativity trips that kind of made me realize what I really want to do. So our first big out west trip was Colorado, and day 3 in particular, we were in Estes Park for the second time, going up on the old Falls Ridge Road, something along those lines. Very high up in elevation. I think the top of it was 11,000 feet, if I remember right, at the Alpine Visitor Center. And we first went up, and it was very cloudy, misty, with the pine trees and the mist, and you can see a little bit of the mountains, but just enough that you're kind of like, oh, this is cool. And it was snowing in June, and that was like all my photography, like, oh my god, this is like amazing, everything's happening at once. And then we saw elk on the road, then we saw bulls on the road, then we saw moose, and just like all spiraled in for that trip. So I always call it like my bucket list trip. Because so much is constantly happening in that one day. A few months before the trip, I was talking to my mom, oh, it'd be so cool if I had like these certain shots and stuff, and like it all came true in that single day. Like someone was listening to me, I was positive. We just got back from a trip to Isle Royale National Park. It was a 4-day backpacking trip, and I guess to start off beforehand, I get into that. I am an avid northern light hunter, and I've been chasing them for about 3 years now. And so leading up to that trip, I had one little experience of them off in the distance in Howell for 3 seconds. And leading up to Isle Royale, I already knew that weekend had a possibility of northern lights. And so on our first night camping, I actually wake up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I look up, it's really starry, so I take a photo, and I realize the clouds are green. And so I run out to the dock, and then, you saw the green hue. It was, with your eyes, you could see the green hue. I took a 30-minute power nap, I guess, and I woke up from the beams of the northern lights shooting up because it got really, really intense. It got huge. Like, the entire skyline got pretty much straight up with it. The color bursted. The show that I've been chasing for about 3 years happened, and I almost missed it because I was sleeping again. was a really big moment that kind of helped me, you know, justify on why I am doing this, why I am physically challenging myself for backpacking in the wilderness of nothing, you know, and this is what I get. And then on that same trip, I'm a lover of moose. I love moose, I love elk, and I've spent so many miles and so many hours up in the UP trying to find moose. And then on Isle Royale, on the last day, Bruce the moose, the common moose that hangs out around Rock Harbor, decided to make his appearance to us and was 10 feet off the trail. And we spent about 40 minutes right then taking photos of him. We went on with his day. He went to the woods. Right before we went back on the boat to go back to the mainland of UP, he comes back, the next campsite over, just chilling, just eating, not caring at all. And then walked right past us, and then we watched him for another 30 minutes right then. It's all things like that that help me, you know, keep doing what I am doing. No matter what age you are, how you were brought up, what your schooling is, it doesn't matter. You can always find a way to do what you love. For me, it happens to be traveling, and I found out ways to do it relatively cheap without being dirt cheap. But also without breaking the bank and having to save up for an entire year. I mean, I'm doing about 4 trips a year right now by myself, and I'm just a Dairy Queen shift leader working 25 to 30 hours with school. And so I'm not like I'm making some massive amount every, you know, month even, but yeah, I'm still finding ways to be able to do trips and do what I love. So using, you know, oh, I don't make enough, oh, I don't have enough hours, you know, it's an excuse, but it's not a good excuse. If you really want to do it, you could find ways to do it, and to always go after what you actually love to do, and don't, you know, have anything hold you back.